Here's something that blew my mind. Port Royal today has virtually no crime. The police report almost zero incidents annually. Locals will tell you it's safe because all the criminals live in Kingston. It's one of the safest, quietest communities in Jamaica. But this quiet little fishing village used to be called the wickedest city in the entire world. Welcome back to Uncover Jamaica. Today we're stepping into a time machine. Port Royal was once the Caribbean's pirate headquarters, where buccaneer legends like Henry Morgan ruled the seas. But it didn't stop there. The British also used Port Royal as a major naval base, making it a strategic hub for British power in the Caribbean for centuries. These streets have some serious stories to tell. Back in the 1600s, Port Royal wasn't just rich, it was dripping in gold. Pirates would roll up here with their stolen treasure, throw wild parties, and basically live like there was no tomorrow. And then, two massive earthquakes swallowed the majority of the city. But here's why I'm so excited about this place. What's left standing is like walking through a living history book. Today, we're going to explore Port Royal. First stop is the old Royal Naval Hospital on New Street. Now, you can't go inside, but even from the gates, this building is impressive. Built around 1818, this place survived the 1907 earthquake. British naval officers were treated here, and it's now managed by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. Just imagine all the stories these walls could tell. If you're loving this historical deep dive, do me a favor and gently tap that like button. It really helps us keep uncovering these hidden gems for you. Now we're heading to Gayawal Alley, and this is where things get a little dark. This was the old women's jail, and most women were locked up for prostitution. Remember, Port Royal was wild back then, and women had very few options. Standing here now, you can't help but think about how different life was for women. Then I went to St. Peter's Anglican Church on Norman Manley Highway. This beauty was built around 1726, and I actually got to go inside. The original church was destroyed in that 1692 earthquake. Then the second one burned down in 1703. Inside, you can still see the original black and white tiles in the aisles. The walls are now covered with cement made to look like stone blocks, but underneath, it's all original brick. This church has been through hurricanes, earthquakes, and centuries of Caribbean weather, and it's still standing strong, still holding Sunday service since 1726. Walking down Norman Manley Highway, things get even more interesting. On my right, parts of the sunken city are still underground. On my left, there's Morgan's Line, also known as Morgan's Wall, named after the famous buccaneer Henry Morgan himself. This was previously Fort Morgan, used to defend Port Royal. This guy was so successful at being a pirate that he became an agent of the crown and later served as Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica. A little further down, there's the Prince of Wales Line, which was basically a defense system loaded with guns and cannons to protect the harbor. These weren't just for show either. Port Royal was constantly under threat from Spanish forces, French forces, and rival pirates, so they needed serious firepower. Walking further down Norman Manley Highway is Fort Charles. Built in the late 1650s, this was the first fort in Port Royal. There's an entrance fee to get in, and trust me, it's worth every dollar. A tour guide walks you through everything. Soldiers' quarters, officers' quarters, even the old toilets. There's a magazine room where they stored ammunition, and a gift shop.
And Fort Charles was built 1656. First name Fort Cromwell. 1660 the name was changed when Charles II became King of England. Now here is a magazine room which is built in the 19th century. All these bricks are local made. So these are all replicas because this fort is 369 years. So all those crates would have filled with all the cannonballs. These crates filled with the musket guns. And all these barrels filled with gunpowder. 500 soldiers, 104 cannons. It took 5 soldiers to fire 1 cannon.
5?
No, this fort has never been under attack. Round 1 is the Queen Victoria Battery. To the right, there are 3 underground bunkers. Coming in on your left before you reach the town of Port Royal, you go past a fort, and that fort is Fort Rocky. Back then, the British were very short people. So you find 2 soldiers sleeping on the top bunk, 2 on the bottom. So the rest of them would have to sleep on the ship, right? Because there were ships all around the fort. As you can see, bench and table inside here. No eating could happen inside here, all because of rats. Now inside here is the courtyard. So this is where all the activities would have took place. Drilling, presentation, even execution. Soldiers who get caught in dirty uniforms will get flogging inside here. So those rings are mooring rings, which those boats would have tied to.
Oh, so the water come all the way up there, so?
So the road that you young ladies drove to get here, there was no road. Only way to get to Port Royal, it has to be by a ship or a boat.
But the coolest part? Giddy House. This building is literally crooked from the 1907 earthquake, and when you stand inside, you actually get disoriented. They also do a demonstration with one of the big cannons. The views from the second floor of Fort Charles, absolutely stunning. You can see straight across Kingston Harbor and understand exactly why this location was so strategic. After all that walking and history absorbing, I was tired and starving, so I grabbed lunch at Gloria's. Good food, good vibes, perfect way to end the day. Fort Charles is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and there are different rates for visitors, locals, and children. Check their Instagram for current prices. You can do a self-guided tour like I did, or you can book with one-stop cultural tours, or contact the Jamaica National Heritage Trust for a guided experience. I'll drop all the links in the description below. So here's my take. Port Royal is a historical gem. From pirate paradise to British defense to underwater ruins to peaceful fishing village, this place has seen it all. And the wildest part? I didn't get to see everything Port Royal has to offer. If you enjoyed this trip through time with me, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss our next adventure.